professional learning dispositions that make me a successful and effective teacher is my ability to hold high expectations for all students, regardless of their age, disability, or background. My commitment to respect the diversity of others, whether that's a student, an instructional aide, a family, or my colleagues. My ability to show fairness through assessment. My ability to show compassion and then take that compassion and move it forward into advocacy. As a special education teacher, I pride myself in my ability to really get to know my students, to understand their strengths and their challenges, and to individualize my instruction and my requirements for engagement to really meet them at their individual development needs. I work in a Title I school, and the majority of my families do not speak English at home, so I understand diversity and that it should be reflected in my classroom, in the way I communicate with my families, both culturally and accessibility wise. I am able to look at my students' learning environment and look at the barriers to their accessibility, whether that is physical, whether it's a sensory need, a language need, or a cognitive barrier. I need to be able to evaluate those and to turn that into advocacy for them, whether that is talking to administration for materials or whatever I would need to help that individual student and scenario, as well as adjust my practices. Do I need to communicate differently? Do I need to switch up the engagement that I am providing for my students? I think advocacy is something that I am learning how to do, but it's something that I hold and think is so important in all teaching, but as a professional education teacher, I think it's something that's going to serve me for the entire length that I am teaching. The professional dispositions that I want to continue to work on as I develop as an educator is my professional conduct and the ability to use reflection as a tool for continued growth. I would like to continue to develop my ability to make sound judgments throughout my practice, to show respect for everyone around me and professionalism in my timeliness, in my communication style, in my attire, my attendance. I want to be someone who respects others and who people respect. I want to continue not the chore of reflection, but the tool of reflection, to be able to seek feedback, to pursue observations, and to ask questions of those around me. I am lucky to work on a team who have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and I want to continue to use those tools to develop as a young educator. The standards that should influence educators are tools like the professional dispositions that GCU puts forth. In California, we use the California standards for the teaching profession. It has 6 different categories that lay the framework of what educators should be doing and the things they should be developing as an educator. I think that districts and individual communities should influence how an educator holds themselves throughout their practice. The teams and individual schools that they work in, making themselves a team player and making sure that they're a part of the greater community around them. And I think an educator looks the part. They're dressed professionally, they communicate well, they respect those around them. But more important are all the intangibles behind the scenes. I think educators need to hold themselves to high ethical practices. They need to hold themselves to a high level of professionalism. They need to expect greatness from their students and from themselves. And most importantly is a passion and a love for their job and the community they serve. I love the population that I work with. I am so excited to develop as an educator and to continue to serve them throughout my career.